Hey guys, Caleb here with a great new little disc golf tidbit again. And today I'm going to be talking about one of my new discoveries in my disc golfing experience. That new discovery is a card game that you can play while you're disc golfing. It's called Ript Revenge. This is done by a company called KnA Games. You can find it on Amazon for about $9 or $10 or so. It might be cheaper now, I'm not sure, but check it out. It's worth picking up. This is such a fun game. How it typically works is you're given 3 cards at the beginning of the round, and from there it gets crazy. Okay, there's a lot of different variations of rules that I've come across. I know that there's 3 that they kind of have listed on their website. I've kind of adapted a little mix of 2 of their variations when I play, and usually you can play for like a skins style of a game, or else you can kind of play like a regular CTP scoring kind of thing with like a card being given for CTPs and stuff like that. But anyway, how it's played is the deck shuffled, you're given 3 cards, okay? And each of those cards has an action, okay? Some of those actions will vary from stuff that you can do before a shot, after a shot, or, you know, anything like that. So you can play a card once per hole, and each player might only have 1 card played on them once, okay? Now there is 1 card that is a little bit different, and that card is you cannot speak for this hole, but you can allow other players to still play a card on you, okay? So that can get pretty brutal, because, you know, if everybody's playing, they could all force you to, I don't know, maybe throw with a mini instead of your disc or something like that, or drive with a putter, putt with a driver, jump shot, you know, all sorts of different kinds of craziness. But yeah, so you play a card. After you play a card, it goes to the bottom of the deck, and then you play that hole out, okay? You can play it the Ript Revenge style, which that rule set, you know, you're given 3 cards at the start, and then you carry out your action either before the tee or after the tee. Then the card goes into the bottom of the deck, and when you're playing for skins, that skins is played like a typical skins match, okay? The lowest score on the hole wins the skin, and everybody else who's playing gets a card, okay? So in other words, you know, if you want to play it like how I normally play it, is like the person who wins the skin, you know, gets the skin, and then everybody else gets a card. So if I get a 2 and everybody else gets a 3, I win that skin, woohoo! But everybody else gets a card to kind of get revenge on me. So it kind of does a good job of balancing it out, you know, the different skill levels and stuff like that, because they'll have more ammunition to play on whoever's getting all the skins, or, you know, getting all the birdies, however you want to play it out. But how you play when we're playing with skins, you know, as opposed to just like a regular round, is if nobody wins that skin for a specific hole, it'll keep on carrying on, and say, like, you know, nobody gets a 2nd hole, 3rd hole, 4th hole, you know, until that 4th hole, say someone wins that 4th hole, you know, well, then that winner gets those 4 skins, but everybody else also gets 4 cards, okay? And that's more ammunition that they can play against that person who won all those skins. Anyway, it's awesome. It's fun. There's a lot. There's counterplay too. So there's some cards in there that I like where you can cancel an action that was just played on you. You can make the opponent who just played a card on you play their card out on themselves. And There's just a lot of fun things. I'm going to read off a few of these cards so that way you can kind of get a few ideas of some of the things that you might see while playing this game. Create a solo T, okay? I don't know if it's even worth showing on here. It's not focusing for a little bit. Use 2 of your discs to create a new T for an opponent on the upcoming drive. The T placement must be within 10 paces, okay? So you can get really creative. You can go walk behind a bench or a bush or something like that and give them like a difficult line that they're not used to taking on that specific hole, you know? Kind of gives it a little bit of a safari kind of a feel to it. Let's see some of the other ones. Force an opponent to throw a mini off of his upcoming drive. That can be pretty fun. One thing that you might want to do, bring one of those junior discs. Those things can be used as minis, but they also get some pretty good distances. You'd be surprised. Let's see some of the other ones. Choose one of your opponent's discs. That disc must be used on his or her next shot. So you can pick out a disc for them. Maybe it's a long shot and just give them a putter that won't go hardly anywhere. Or maybe it's a putt and they're like 15-20 feet away or something like that. Give them a long-range driver with a lot of fade or something like that. Give them a stiletto to putt with. So make it fun. Anyway, another card. Force an opponent to take an upcoming drive with his or her offhand. Okay. So I had one of these cards that were played on me where I had to throw left-handed. Well, I had never done it before, but I'm just trying to think this thing through. Okay, you know, get a good grip, straight line, and it worked out for me. Okay, but that was the only time that I actually ever tried throwing with my left hand, and I was actually fortunate enough to park it. So that was kind of cool. Force an opponent to throw a grenade. Okay, that was pretty cool. Okay. I've only been playing for about a few months. I started in May. So some of these shots I have never even tried before. I've never done a grenade. I had never thrown a tomahawk. I had never thrown a thumber. Okay, those are all new shots that I now want to practice. Okay, I now want to try out because, well, it was something new for me, and I could actually potentially see, you know, use for this in the future. So it kind of exposed me to something new that I had never done before. You know, some cards will make your opponent throw a forehand off of a tee. And you might think, oh, hey, you know, forehands aren't that bad. But what if it's a tee specifically where, you know, the hyzer or the backhand route for a typical righty is like the best route that you normally go? Well, that forehand route might be pretty hard or might be blocked off with some trees or brush, you know, so you can get pretty creative with these. Reposition an opponent's lie by 10 paces. That's kind of cool. You know, if they're about to get a good putt, nope, step them on out. Make them take another stroke or something. Or else if they're about to do an upshot, you know, maybe move them behind a bush or something. Force an opponent to do a straddle putt. Make them do a jump putt. Those are all kinds of things in here. But yeah, there's some really fun different types of cards and scenarios and actions that you can do in here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I should also mention jokers, okay? There's a good luck and a bad luck joker. Those jokers are cards that you either want to keep or give someone else. What I mean by that is there's a bad luck joker. The bad luck joker adds 2 strokes to your final score. If you're playing for a skin, you're going to subtract a skin. Now, the good luck joker lets you subtract that score instead of adding it like the bad luck one does. I don't know if I said that wrong the first time, but anyway, you get it. So you get strokes or you know, take strokes off based on which card you have. Because there's also cards that you can play in conjunction with these cards where you trade it with the other person. Anyway, there's a lot of different cards. Check it out, Ript Revenge. It's a great game. A lot of fun stuff in there that you can check out in the cards. You have to play this game. It makes disc golf a lot funner. All the courses that you've played 1,000 times, it's different when you're playing it with Ript. Definitely check it out. I personally plan on hosting a few minis with my local club and exposing some of the people to this awesome game. I think they'll really have a great time with it. And oh yeah, one of the other cards that I want to mention is well, what's it called? There's one card that says when you play this card on your opponent, they cannot play a card until they make a putt without hitting the chains. Okay? So think about it. What do you have to do? Well, I can't just go like this because that's going to hit the chains. So it forces you to park it and then drop it in without hitting those chains. I mean, there's just a lot of different fun stuff. It really just adds a whole new flavor to your typical round of disc golf. I definitely check it out. It's called Ript Revenge. Fun time. $9-10 on Amazon. Get it. Anyway, that's it for today. Y'all have a great one, and hopefully I'll see you out there. Deuces.